Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance. Hello, everybody. Welcome to
This meeting
Longbangers
is being
in
recorded.
association with Leaf Spirits. Did you just get that shout there, by the way?
It came through my speakers.
Did it?
So you've probably heard it. I don't know why it done that. It doesn't normally.
It comes through mine as well. So for folk listening who might not have heard that normally when we do this, we hit the record button, and I think there's a wee message for you guys to say that the meeting's been recorded, but the voice was completely different and loud that time. So,
welcome to the behind the scenes of Longbangers.
I know it caught us all off guard, though, didn't it? Right, I'm Mai.
Hi, I'm Colin.
And I am John.
Right, Sunday night is roasting. I guess it's roasting in your houses as well, because it's been a scorching day. Colin, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm roasted off. I'm a bit red. I was sitting in the famous
wee
five
bit.
floor today, and the sun was beating in like proper. It was fucking roasting.
Aye.
And then I've stood in HTC all afternoon as well, so I'm not long in. So it's been a long day out in the sun.
John, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a pleasant weekend. I was finishing off some uni work, and the missus took the bairn to Blackpool with our mother and that, so I actually have lived life almost like a single man this weekend. After finishing up the uni work.
Aye.
I was at the Speedway on the Friday. I was at watching Deadpool last night. I was at the football today. I didn't have any time limits on when I could leave, when I could come back. It's been glorious, but I know the missus is back, so I've got bedtime to do later.
There is literally no score today that could have hampered your mood then, really.
No, I am on
as well.
Fuck it. All I need is behold, to be honest.
Good luck.
That's my happy bingo card tipped off.
Right, you're going to get the team up. Right, let's run through the starting 11. I'll get your thoughts on it first of all, and then we'll get into the sort of the game and the talking points that have come through in the back of it. Right, so Gray lined up with Bursic, Miller, Ekpiteta, Wahora, Levitt, Boyle, Newell, Abita, Campbell, Molotnikov, and Kukovic came in for his first start since returning. On the bench with Smith, Fenty, Cadden, it's Chris Cadden, not Nicky, Amos, McCurdy, Bowie, Mariah Welsh, Megwa, and Rocky. John, what were your initial thoughts when you saw the lineup?
A wee bit surprised to see Levitt in there.
Yes.
And also kind of notable was Kaharovic up front replacing Venti. So I think when I looked at the lineup, I was like, all right, well, those guys have come in. Are the guys that they replace on the bench? Is there maybe any sort of injuries? That's the way that my mind kind of works when I look at this stuff. I don't know if that's the same as you guys or other people. I know there was some questions later on about the midfield. I didn't really have... I think I could see the method in the perceived madness in the selection of some players in the midfield, but otherwise it's pretty much the same team as was out last week and has been out in previous weeks with a couple of tweaks.
What was the method that you saw in it?
I thought the method based on... So it's with regards to Levitt in particular, because I thought I would have seen Mariah Welsh in there. And I thought maybe we had Levitt in there because it looked like Hibs were trying to play on the counter-attack against Celtic. So with his range of pass in there, it was like it was kind of trying to find the right balance of, do you want to try and chase folk down, or do you want to try and find the pass and when you're trying to hit them on the counter-attack? That was my, as I say, like way to try and explain it. I don't know if that's right. Other people have got their own thoughts. In fact, what are your thoughts on the midfield and the lineup?
I worried about the midfield. Josh and I were talking about the team as we were walking up to the stadium, and I think we said Levitt had a good game against Celtic before. He scored against them a couple of times. He maybe would put him for inclusion. But I was worried about the pace and the power in the middle. I thought we were leaving Joe Newell a lot to do. So that was probably where my worry was in the team. The rest of it, I think, picked it itself. Colin, what about you? What did you think?
Just the same position, I think. I wasn't sure who else would be available, for the new signings. I expected Kukovic, or however the fuck I was saying his name, Big Miko, and
Kaharovic.
Kaharovic, whatever. Aye. I expected them to start because he had played last week. I wasn't sure about any of the other new guys if they would be ready. So the surprise when we were driving down and Grace, my daughter, read it out to me was a Levitt. That was the reaction.
And
because I didn't think he was even close to getting a start, to be quite honest with you, never mind against the best team in the league and against the best midfielder in the country.
Probably the two best midfielders in the country as well, because Riley's in there as well, wasn't he? And, that's a big ask for a midfield that has been weak. Do you know, over the last couple of years, it's been a strong spot for us.
I don't think Mariah Welsh had a good game last week, did he? So
no, he did.
But then did anybody? So, like, how was he the one that lost out?
Aye. Right, we'll take that off the screen. So the game kicks off, John. 2 minutes in, nearly 3 minutes, we're a goal down. What were your thoughts on the opening sort of 5 minutes of the game?
There's probably about 30 seconds out of those opening 5 minutes that I don't really remember. I think the passage you play that I do remember, and this isn't designed, what I'm going to say isn't designed to have a particular pop at one player, but Lewis Miller went for a long throw-in for Martin Boyle, and I just thought, you're going to have to be really accurate there to get it over the top of the defender to have Boyle run onto it. Like, I can see what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't quite executed. And then I think the ball goes outright, Celtic find a pass, and then suddenly Egg Potato is isolated against Furuhashi, I think is how you pronounce it.
Kyogo.
Aye, Kyogo, that's maybe the easier way. I mean, I know I'm a bit of a for pronunciation's the name, but I might go Kyogo in this instance. And it's not a one-on-one that you want in that situation, because you've got quite a tall guy against a small mobile player, and then he gets the shot away. And I think what compounds it at that point is something that we gave, or something that we picked up on last season where what's his chops, Whittaker and Megwa, people coming off the left shoulder. Like, Miller doesn't know that Forrest is there. He's got no idea. And I think I don't think the first part, the throw-in, is what causes the goal or what leads to the goal. It's the events after that, because he's pretty much out of position from that throw-in, and then getting back, and the guy's over his left shoulder, like I say. So I think Bursik gets a reasonable save on it.
I thought it was
he pushes it away from the goal, but Miller's not there to knock out or try and clear it. So Forrest squares it, and it's a goal. And I think to try and paraphrase David Gray's comments, you've given him a goal head start in the first 2 minutes. Like, the game's barely got started, and you're a goal down. You've suddenly got it. You're suddenly up against it, and you're already up against it because of the team you're playing. But then suddenly it's like, well, is it Sisyphus, the guy pushing the boulder up the hill? It's like, you might as well be pushing two boulders up the hill at that point.
I was a bit disappointed. There was a good description, John, but I was a bit disappointed with the chasing back, I suppose. Like, as you say, Miller didn't make it, maybe for the reason that he was caught up the pitch. But then the ball comes across, and Abita was slow getting back. I didn't see anybody else try to get back either. But they were on it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like it was urgent to them, but it wasn't urgent for us. And sometimes it's easier going forward. But
we had this conversation last year about penalties, didn't we? About the urgency and the desire to make up for errors, or track back, or whatever it happens to be.
I actually thought it was a feature that I play a lot, especially in the first half, with players getting caught on their heels. Where eventually the Boonham Josh Campbell happened a couple of times, where it's like he's just slow to react to something that, like a ball bouncing near him, or but this one, Miller switch. I think Miller actually sees Forrest and just decides to let him go. He sort of comes inside to maybe give cover to Ekpitera as Kyogo's lining up the shot. But when the shot goes, Miller slows up. He doesn't follow it in. And then the next thing, he looks up and Forrest is about to put the cross in, and that's when Miller he sort of jumps in to try and block the cross. But then Abita's no followed. I think is it Kuhn that scores? Yeah. I think it's Abita that should have tracked him in. Exactly as you said, Colin. We spoke about it last Monday with Marvin Bartley, and he was saying you've got players jogging in to defend, and when you've got attackers, good attackers, sprinting in, then you're in bother. So
As we're up against it, like Boulder up the hill and all that stuff, right? We're already up against it. The best team in the country, they're going to win the league. They might even go unbeaten in the league, right? They're fucking miles better than anybody. All individually, their players are better. So what you need to do then is actually fucking work hard. And things like a tap in because you've not tracked back, they're things that you can actually do because you just need to be fit and have a determination. You know what I mean? You didn't need to be a better football player. And that's what frustrated me with that one. It was a good save for the keeper, like to give somebody credit. I thought it was decent. I was behind it, and I thought he's done well to get to it.
What was the second goal, Collins? We didn't have long to wait for the second goal. Baked potatoes, but slack pass back.
Slack pass back. Keeper waited for ages. I thought he could have maybe came to the ball quicker. Waited till it was almost out for a corner, and he just smashed it in the midfield to them. And then they just knocked it out. McGregor had like maybe 3-4 players within 5 yards of him, but nobody close to him. And he just ran away for them and smashed it, not into the top corner. And at the game, I was like, it's a cracking strike. And then I went, mind you, it's not in the top corner. Should the goalie have got it? But I've seen it back, and it does look like it moves and that. So I'm not going to. I think I'm going to blame the keeper. At the game, if you had asked me straight after it, I would have probably said, could the keeper have saved that? But the big but I'm not saying that now. I think it was just a cracking strike. But the whole midfield just watched McGregor take the touch away from them inside and just like gave him all the time in the world. And that was pretty much the whole first half, maybe even the whole game. And I know he's the best player. I've said it before, like, I think he's the best player in the league.
You've got a man crush on him,
I think he's brilliant, right? But because of that, he just does what he wants. So then he learn.
Yeah.
Make it difficult. I think we got caught, like, sucked into the ball again. I mean, it's kind of similar to the first goal. We had 3 players trying to close down the shot on Kyogo. So by the time he shoots and the ball breaks back out, Forrest is free to do the same thing. You think there's 3 players going to the touchline, and it's one wee pass inside. I said, Nibbles aware that McGregor's there. They also focus on the ball. Is that concentration
almost,
thing, isn't it? Like, just switch
it's almost
off.
ball watching, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aye. And you can't afford to do it at that level.
I think even the pass back with the keeper under pressure. Keeper, they made it harder for his selling and needed to be. And then everybody just watched McGregor. Like, it was almost like they were like going, all right, is it? Oh, so he takes a touch. All right, I'll maybe do it the next time I get the ball. Kind of like learning from him or something. It was fucking appalling, really. Because you watch it, there's like 3 or 4 of them close. But not close enough. And he takes a touch away from them because that touch inside, nobody was there. They were all over here. I don't know what was going on with the shape and all that there. But
I think watching it back, there was 2 of them, I think, Abita, and like I actually forgot the part about the pass back and whatever Bilsik done to clear it. But I think it's Abita and maybe Levitt seemed to be both marking the same player. And even at that simple sort of level, if you've got 2 on 1, then there's a guy spare.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, the ball goes inside. And I think to give McGregor a bit of credit, I think the way that he's hit his shot, you remember Campbell's, was it on the half volley where he's guided it past the Rangers keeper kind of outside of the foot? It's kind of like floated away into the far corner. So I don't know. I don't think Bursic had much of a chance. Like, it wasn't a thunderbolt in the top corner, which I wonder is why people think he should have done better. I'm not sure.
He's moving away from him. I think he's moving away from him. And he maybe looked a bit awkward when he was diving. It looked like he's diving with the top arm over. Kind of like he wasn't he? So I think sometimes, but I think it's a cracking strike, really. I don't know if many keepers are saving it.
Nah, I thought it was a good goal, like good finish. But and there's the problems that we've got to start further ahead than the goalie. Ekpeteta's passing all afternoon was shocking. In fact, there was a stat at half time, Colin, 70, I think it was 74 passes Hibs had completed. Celtic 374. And we had a pass completion rate something like 56, but I wasn't going from memory. It was about 56%, which is a huge problem, right? Now we'll come on to the talking points. The midfield, I thought, were, in fact, it wasn't just the midfield though, but we cheated the ball like a hot tatty. Like in that first half, every time we got it, the quality on the ball was absolutely abysmal. What do you think is behind that, Colin?
So, what's behind that? Well, the pressure they're getting put under, right, for one, but 2, they're maybe not good enough. But also, I think, Aye, that's the main reasons. There was something else I was going to say there. I can't quite think what it was, but they're getting put under pressure and they struggle with it, don't they? Sorry, the way we were set up, I'm looking at the overall stats for the game, and I think it was something like 26% possession. I don't know if that was deliberate, right? But when teams do it to us, it seems to be effective because we talk about it every week. How we had 70% possession, but we got beat 3-0. Okay. So I don't know if the plan was to not keep it, let him have it, but that doesn't mean just give it away either when you've got it. I think it's going to be that they're just a better team and they put us under pressure, and their players aren't good enough to stand up to it.
I think that's interesting, Colin, because I remember when we had the conversation about Aston Villa and the sort of level that they were playing at, I think we talked about at the time the difference between us and them. So when we were down at Villa Park, I remember a ball being played through for Boyle, and I think he gets a touch on it, but it's not a touch that brings it under control, that plays it in front of him. But the comparison to the Aston Villa players or even the Celtic players today is ball's under control, one touch, and they're looking for a pass. It takes us just a little bit longer to get the ball under control, to find the patch, to find the player in space. They're good players, and they'll be very well drilled in training, what have you, to just know where the players are, where the space is. And I just don't think, like, based on what we saw today and what we've seen previously, the players don't get the ball under control quick enough, and they don't move the ball quick enough. And also something that's missing as well is the movement. So what you were saying about like getting back and defending or whatever, like there are things that you can do as an athlete. But one of those things you can do is move, and we're pretty static.
Aye, I thought we lacked the bravery that you need in a game like this to get on the ball and try and make something happen. So you're going to be under pressure, but and the other team's better than you. It's going to be difficult, but you need to want the ball, and then when you get it, you need to try and play football properly, rather than just kicking it the way that you're facing. And I think there was one point in the second half where our press was brilliant. We had Celtic in at their right hand sides down like in line with the 18-yarder, and the press was great. And actually, they just shelled it and went to Levitt, who took a touch and then panicked with his second touch. He sclaffed his pass and just gave it straight away. So you've got all this good work of the players in front of him pressing. He gets the ball, and because he's not got that composure, just immediately fluffs what should have been a pretty straightforward pass.
I think it's amazing the amount of times that happened. There was easy passes on, and they were even trying the right option, the easy ball, and they weren't fighting the man.
Aye,
I think it's a conversation we've had several times previously. It's like, so in a game like that where you're maybe playing on the counter attack, where you're looking to soak up possession, like hit them on the counter, do whatever it is that you're doing. When you do have the ball, when you do have an opportunity to create something, you have to get it right, because there's so few and far between. But there was certainly, I was critical of a Martin Boyle opportunity where he drives through on goal. I think he's coming from left to right, or maybe through the middle. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not memory now. But anyway, Karavic was definitely... Karavic was over to his right hand side, and there's a 100%. Ball there that you can slip in for him, and he's
easy
gone
ball,
for the edge of the area, outside the D shot. I'm like, fuck me,
right in front of me, mate. I was raging. It's like he's running through the boys. He's made the run, Big Miko's run. He's in between the two centre halves, straight in and goal, maybe on the edge of the 6 yard, or in line with the edge of the 6 yard line. He couldn't have seen him. It's not possible. He chose not to give that pass and try the wonder strike. Play the ball, and it's a simple pass.
Yep.
So frustrating.
Aye. I suppose at one side, at 2-0, it looked like it could have been any score. Celtic hit the bar just after they'd gone 2 in front. And Heritage got in our boxes, we were struggling to get tackles in, and they were dribbling through folk. But we got to 0-0 at half time. John's second half, a better performance, you think?
A wee bit. I think. And I know that the question is going to be, well, did we start playing better because Celtic had taken a foot off the gas a little bit? And I did say to my mate beside me, I think it was around about the 60th minute, I said something along the lines of, I don't know whether it's exuberance clouding my vision, but I think that we've had more of the football or played better, the last sort of 5-10 minutes or so. And that was certainly around about the period, I think, when Boyle could have played in Kaharovic. But I don't think, have we had a shot on target? I know that we've had one off the bar.
No,
But I don't think we've properly troubled Schmeichel. And actually, like, I completely overlooked that Celtic had signed Schmeichel. I remember that they were linked to him. I asked the boy next to me, like, who's that in goal? Is it Scott Bain? No, it's Schmeichel, mate.
essentially, I was just looking at the stats. So no shots on target for Hibs. 4 off target.
It felt like we were pressing more though, because I think Boyle had a run. I can't remember if it was just before or after that shot, and he put it across the box, and there was nobody there running in.
Aye.
To tap
a lot
it
of
in.
had a good chance, or like a decent chance.
And Bowie hit the bar obviously as well.
Aye.
That was a great effort.
That was one of those ones where the defenders just like thinking they're going to see it, because I think it was Carter Vickers. He was a big laddie. And
he looks an absolute machine. Yeah, he looks.
Aye.
He actually looks like he's carrying a bit, like or he's just big, because I can't remember him being looking that big. Don't know if it was closer.
Aye, he's a big use, yeah.
But he brushed them off and bent onto the bar.
Unlucky. What did you make about him when he came on?
I thought he was good. I thought it was all right. I thought it was a good start for him, like to come on, and he showed a bit. He was chasing stuff down. He got that. He brushed the striker off there. I thought it was promising.
Yeah, I thought he looked. I remember his interview during the week where he was saying that he kind of likes to mix up a bit. He likes to, I don't know if he said argy-bargy, but I think he said maybe he liked the physical side of the game.
Yeah.
And I thought we saw a wee bit of evidence of that. But what I was pleasantly surprised with was he's quite tall, but he seemed to be quite tricky as well. Like the shot that he managed to get away, it seemed like he created something out of nothing there. Like he fashioned that opportunity for himself. So I know he looked right. What did you think, Matty?
I was excited to see him. I thought the effort off the bar, which was like a lost cause, wasn't it? It was like we've not had somebody chasing them down and then doing something with it for a while. And the fact he got a shot away, used his physique well, and he was unlucky. Like if that had gone in, what a goal it would have been. It looked like the referee wasn't wanting to give very much, so I would say that. Like anything he went in for a 50-50, the referee was going to have a wee word with him after it.
I should say that actually when criticising the midfield like I am for not getting close, the two of them got booked in the first 10 minutes. It was like Campbell got booked after 2 minutes, and it's like
I thought it was shite, because I think for Campbell and Newell it was their like first challenge maybe, and I don't think that they were particularly dirty. I don't think that they were particularly physical. But the referees brandished the card. I thought the
Campbell one was soft. I thought the Newell one was further away from me, but a mate of mine said to me this afternoon he thought he
definitely yellow for Newell.
He's too high or something.
Flicked his foot up to catch, but the arguments with Newell's Campbell's, you see them giving, sometimes you see them don't.
Can we give Joe Newell just a tiny wee bit of credit for the challenge where he just burst the boy down at the famous 5-inch?
I was right in front of me. Aye, that was good. Well, that's what I was saying. But it was like it was already 2-0, and it was like he'd already been shouldered off the ball at one point. But you're going just a bit like we spoke about David Gray as a captain, just like going and putting a tackle in and getting everybody up for it. That was almost one of them. But and I suppose it was right at the end of the first half, I think, wasn't it? And then we came out better in the second half. So maybe it did encourage them to get closer.
But yeah, a poor game, overall. Like I don't think any of our midfield covered themselves in glory, but Newell just looked miles off it. There's some simple passes he got wrong. Like he had the chance to put the ball in the box for a free kick towards the end of the first half, and he just pinged it straight out of play. And the Kimmel was up with him, just didn't look like his day at all today. Right, we'll go to the talking points. We'll talk about the midfield, because there's I'll look at Hibsnet after it. I always look on Twitter, and there's a general sort of consensus that it's a midfield that will get the team relegated. I know we're only 2 games into the season, so we get too melodramatic about it, but it's definitely a problem. So first talking point we've got comes from Football Tweets, who says the Golden Quadrant better start spending Foley's millions. One of the transfer targets we know about that's going to involve dipping into that money is Luke McCowan. John, what do you think about the potential signing of Luke McCowan?
Well, I think it would be remiss of me not to bring in freelance podcaster Dave Graham's comments today, because I was having a chat with him just as I was making my way out the stadium back to the Waverley, and his thoughts were that it doesn't matter if we sign Luke McCowan, because we are still missing a number 6 who is able to take the ball on the half turn for the defence. What is your response to freelance podcaster Dave Graham's comments?
I think maybe get Joe Newell in that if he's got better players around the boot.
Do you think currently? Do you think the midfield then is having to play? Is having to kind of move at the moment because we're missing the right players in the right areas, the right positions.
I think the balance is completely wrong in the midfield. We've got too many similar players. I think when you play Levitt and Newell, they occupy the same area too much, and neither of them wants to be the runner, like to go and cover it. You see it a bit more with Mariah Welsh, but Mariah Welsh hasn't really set the header alight either. Campbell, I don't know if like I obviously tipped Campbell be top scorer, but I think in the last 2 games Campbell's been hopeless. Like he was miles off it today. Last week against St Mirren, he was miles off it. So I think when we were allowed 3 different amendments to our predictions, I think that's going to be one that I will be amended when we get to that stage. I'm kind of regretting that I can't amend it already. It was full of bravado and optimism, and do you know when you're like, I'm just going to predict this and just be out there and go balls out, but fucking stupid.
You're not convinced he's going to get a goal every other game in the remaining 36.
But what we're really lacking is physicality and pace. And it was the danger of the day against Celtic is that they were going to run past us several times, which they did, and they were going to be stronger on the ball and off the ball, and they were. So we couldn't cope with their movement, we couldn't cope with the strength. So like 50-50s, they were winning rather than us. I think Newell, when he's got players working around him, I thought Marvin Bartley's pointing that on Monday about Newell's game suffering because he's having to pick up the work of others was a good one. I hadn't really considered that before. I think when you've got Levitt, for me, has got all the ability in the world. If he wanted to be a football, like a top footballer, he needs to get his head in the game and start impacting games. Too many times, like you have a game like today where he does nothing in it. He's like a man down. And that was what the problem is. I think if you chuck better players in, somebody like McCowan who can go and do some of that dirty work, but also pick the ball up and drive it forward, I think you get a bit more of the players out of the players round about him as well. What do you call him?
Aye, maybe. I'm in the mind at the moment to just say fucking bid a lot and buy 3 millions, but what's the play? Could be. I mean, we've seen flashes for Joe Newell. We've probably seen enough of Joe Newell to say he's a good player. I don't know when Dave's example there, a 6 though. I don't know if Newell's the kind of 6 he's meaning. Like, is he not meaning like he's wanting a destroyer in there that can also take the ball on the half turn and all that? Like, you know, there's Newell's know that, is he?
Nah,
if he makes a tackle, he gets booked. He's no. I don't know. I mean, obviously, because everybody's been watching McCowan the last couple of weeks, they're spotting the boy Silla that Marvin also mentioned on Monday night. But I'm sure there's others out there that can had
just sign the Dundee midfield and
by the Dundee midfield.
There's another midfielder whose name escapes me, the boy that was at Motherwell and then went down south to Luton.
Campbell. Alan Campbell.
Campbell. I think he's another one that brings us some of that drive that we're missing if we were able to get him. I think that's a long shot, but I think if that's the level of player that we're looking at, if we can get somebody like a Campbell or a McCowan in the midfield, it automatically makes us better because now that we've seen like, how long have we talked about it with like Newell, Jake Doyle, Hayes, Campbell, or Newell, Campbell, Levitt, like they are ineffective, and we've got so much evidence behind us now to say that those midfield combinations,
even when it's tweaked, you know. So, and I think we've got that team today. You look at it and you go, we've signed a load of players last week, but they weren't playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've got Cadden didn't play obviously, and Bowie only got the last 20.
Hoyle wasn't in the squad.
Hoyle wasn't in the squad, and was there somebody else? I made that. Oh, Kukureva, she started.
You started, yeah.
Are you going with Bowie? Is it Kieran Bowie? Is that what you're going for, Colin? Because
called them both tonight.
Have you both?
Aye. I'm doing both because
just covering
then
our bases.
One of them's right.
Aye. We'll cover all bases. But
Barry said Bowie on the Tanner, but he also says that Malonikov was coming off and it was Josh Campbell. So
aye, and they put Junior Hoyle up on the screen as well.
Did they?
For the sub. Aye.
Oh, I never noticed that.
I
It
don't know
was,
what.
it was the
Anyway,
most
up here
confusing
negative.
moment of the afternoon. I was like, how the came what's fucking happening with the
Yeah.
subs?
It was pre-subs, but I looked at the big screen for something, and for whatever reason, like my eyes were drawn to Bursik. Maybe I was just working my way from top to bottom, but they spelled Bursik's name wrong. But they got Ekpiteta, Kaharovic, Molotnikov, all correct.
How did they spell Bursik?
B-U-R,
What was it?
B-U-R-S-I-K.
Burisk, B-U-R-I-S-K.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, I-S-K, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
I was doing that old man like squint for the
Oh,
stats. Is that
right?
right?
Sure, we did it with St Mirren one time. We spelt their name wrong on the scoreboard. That was on the old scoreboard. Kind of used to be on the.
Who's
Thing
in
is,
charge
if
of the
you've read-
scoreboard?
I don't know.
If you've
Somebody
read
does it.
HQ and that, like, we didn't proofread much. So.
Aye.
Do you still get HQ, by the way? I've not heard
I
seen
don't know.
advertised that. Done that.
Right, Ryan Lyle says midfield is miles off. It feels like we should play 3-5-2. This week we need to go all out to get the midfielders in. We need a proper defensive midfielder and McKeown. Too many passive players today in a game. You can't afford to do that. I think that pretty much just encapsulates what we just said, Ryan. Totally agree.
Can I just jump in on that one?
Yeah, of course.
Because I think I've got a wee bit of curiosity about signings that we're making, or the potential signings that we're making. So for argument's sake, if we get Luke McCowan in, what does that mean for the existing midfield? So you've got Mariah Welsh there, you've got Levitt there, Newell and Campbell seem to be the sort of
Amos
preferred
as
pair.
well. Yes.
You've got Amos in there, so I'm curious with regards to Malky Mackay's previous comments with regards to we've got a whole bunch of players that are under contract that it doesn't look like are going to get a game, and we need to wait a year to get them out. We have a bloated squad,
Mm-hmm.
but we're getting other guys in. Are we just kind of like shuffling other guys into like that sort of bloated squad that we'll maybe be looking to move on? And also with regards to the 3-5-2, would we be better off playing a 3-5-2 because we get the likes of, say, Kaharovic and Venti playing up front, or Kaharovic and Bowie? Does one of those strikers need, or Venti, do one of them need to move on? Like, because presumably it's not going to be Kaharovic and Bowie because they're just in the door. And Venti was the sort of the Big Tent signing last year that folk are a wee bit unhappy with. So I'm not quite sure how that looks for like the remainder of the transfer window, but also like with regards to that movement that Malky Mackay described.
Yeah.
Because it feels like we've got a bloated squad that we're sort of continuing to add to, and I didn't quite understand that.
I suppose the biggest question in that one with the midfield is Mariah Welsh and Amos, who were brought in January. So if we're just like a few months in, and like Mariah Welsh never started the day, wasn't great last week. Amos didn't even get on the pitch today.
It must be frustrating for a player like that, though, right? I don't know much about Amos at all. I've hardly seen him, but everybody can see that midfield is sadly lacking something, and he's sitting there not getting a minute, and he must be going, fucking hell, just gives a chance.
But everybody's
Must
had a
be.
chance. He's been awful. Like that,
When's he had the chance, though? Like compared to what these guys get, these four that are in the position.
See, he came on last week, didn't he, against I'll go from memory. I'm sure he
St.
came
Mirren.
on against St Mirren. He played a big part of the Celtic game, and he was miles off it at Celtic, like miles off it. But I get with Amos, he's coming back off a bad injury. He's not played loads of football. So you maybe afford him a little bit more time. But Hibs have got a decision to make with it, because even though we're bloated for midfielders, we can't go the season with that midfield. And if we didn't get McCowan, and you hope we do, right? You hope the fact that it's going to a couple of bids, the players keen to come, because generally we wouldn't get that far without players.
He knows.
Like
he knows what he's getting and all that. Yeah.
If we didn't get him, we need to have an ace up our sleeve, because if we kind of get to the last day of the window and we're still filing bids in at Dundee, and Dundee decide they're not selling and we're left hunting our deck, then like what do you do if that midfield, it gets time and time again, it gets overrun and is ineffective? And we saw it last season. If we didn't change it for this season, we're fucked. Anyway, right. Liam O'Neill said Ekpiteta struggles defending proactively, maybe managed to get player of the season in the Championship in a team under siege every week, but you're expected to defend much higher up the pitch at Hibs. and will struggle like Duffy did at Celtic unless he adapts. John, what did you think and what do you think of that comparison with it was Shane Duffy, wasn't it, that went to Celtic as a quite highly rated player? Mine was a bit of a coup for them. And he was awful.
Jim Duffy, and I thought, Jim Duffy played for Celtic.
Shane Duffy, who was famously bad at Celtic, or infamously bad, who would that be? One of the two.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I don't know how to answer it.
Championship in England is kick and rush, though, isn't it? Really. So, nobody's trying to play football.
What is it?
So it would suit his game. You can see it would suit his game. He's a big guy that maybe just wants to head the ball away all day. Did he game it, though?
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if this maybe goes back to the comment I made at the start about like not having Kyogo isolated against Ekpatea, because it's kind of like, it's not quite David and Goliath, but it's not quite fair. Fair's probably the wrong word, but I think you know what I'm trying to describe. Like, it's just two completely different players, and I think Kyogo's going to have the beating of him 9 times out of 10. I don't think he's necessarily a bad defender. I don't think you've got 2 games plus a few pre-season games. Like if you were, and I know that the quality of opposition is different. But there was the game against I think it was Peterhead, where he was able to mop up everything that came at him. But he did also have a lot of time and space. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, because like a couple of games in the new season, like there is going to be that element of adapting. Marvin Bartley talked about it. Just give him a wee bit of time to settle in, and I don't think the game to judge him on is a game against Celtic, and that applies to next week as well.
I think it didn't help it. Like Celtic, I don't know if it was by design from us or because Celtic sort of stopped us playing through O'Hora. O'Hora's much more comfortable on the ball.
I was quite impressed with him, actually.
He had a good game, I thought, but because you would expect us then, knowing that one's weaker and one's stronger, is to try and get the ball to O'Hora more. And I don't know if it's just Celtic stopped us doing that, and that sort of forced us to play through Ekpatea, and that exposed his weaknesses a bit more. But I had a very difficult afternoon, I thought, and I don't know if there was maybe a bit of hangover for his mistake for last week. So that's about to play on your mind as well. As a player coming up to a new league, and he's sort of cruised through the League Cup games against the lower teams. First game against a Premier League team, we lose 3-0. He gifts a goal pretty much with a bad pass back, and you just wonder how much that plays in a player's mind when they go in thinking like, I need to, they overthink what they're doing with the ball, and certainly like he contributed to the second goal of the game with a bad pass. Right, Parfry's image. I said only Bowie was different to St Mirren, so not the options for change that we had hoped for. A bit rabbit in the headlight stuff in the first half, but settled in the second half. We expect more, but it's a work in progress. The process has to deliver a midfield boss. David Gray mentioned in his post-match, I don't know if you saw it, but he used the phrase, we're having a bit of short-term pain for long-term gain, and was almost like sort of saying, I think, listen, we know it's shit, shit like that's probably, he wasn't saying it was shit, but he said difficult,
challenging,
and probably going to be difficult next week, but we're going to get there in the end. It goes back to that trust in the process thing, which Parfry's image is alluding to there. We were at a bit of a, like, there's a bit of noise about David Gray today online. We've obviously lost our first 2 games. We've had that Celtic game. Colin, is it a time for like kind of calm heads to just kind of go like and look like us as podcasts, like we've obviously kind of created a wee bit of noise, but do we realise like kind of calm the fuck down about things for a wee bit and just let it play out and see?
We can't. I mean, it's not been a great run of fixtures. Well, it's not a great run of fixtures. The first 4 even. I don't know who comes after Dundee. The international break maybe a bit. Kelly, so they're like the Rook, they got hammered today. But like Celtic, double header with Celtic, away to St Mirren and at home to Dundee. You know what I mean? There's no gimmies in there, is there? So, you can't be going. We can't be going and sacking a manager in September again.
No,
you just can't be.
I think the way that fan culture, if you want to call it that, or even online fan culture, there's definitely like a lot of noise. But if there's always a lot of noise on the back of the feet, how do you find the genuine criticisms? Like, because it just and we talked about it recently, like with the memes and the graphics and what have you coming out last week about like Ken Salout, etc. Like that just seems to be the go-to thing now whenever there's a defeat. And actually, like I think it's been far less today. I was surprised to see that there was like chat about David Gray and what have you.
Yeah, I definitely thought the board. I think I said it last week. I think this time that the fans will not turn on David Gray and right away. It'll be the board that get it, and that's what it felt like last week. But this week it's like there's a bit more noise. It seems, although I've not seen much like myself.
However, what I did see, or what I did observe today, was how few bodies there were in the stadium. And I've got a wee bit of conspiracy. And I didn't mean to fuel anything, but the official attendance, I think, was 17,918, and I thought that's shite because, and I've got rationale for this. You've got the Celtic end, which is reduced. And I'm looking around me, and there's pockets within the stadium with lots and lots of empty seats. And Hibs haven't released season ticket numbers. So I'm really concerned with how they came up with 17,918. It didn't seem reasonable for the attendance to be that much. And I know that there's normally like later games in the season, you maybe get like an attendance of like 15,000, 16,000 or something. You go, right, okay, so there's folk that have bought season tickets that aren't at the game today. But nearly 18,000 people just didn't stack up for me.
I thought the East looked quite full. Like, I actually thought the stadium looked like the attendance was quite good. I wasn't that surprised that when they said 18,000. I get what you say. I think right immediately at kickoff it looked more empty, but by 5 minutes in, I thought it looked like the crowd was quite healthy. Obviously, they see like I sit like the back of the West Upper, so I have no idea what's in the West Lower. Yeah. I see like I can't see any of that, but our bit was pretty full, a couple of spare seats here and there. But
I was at the West Upper, closer to the away end, and there was definitely like quite a few seats. You know that way sometimes you go to the ground, you think, fuck, if I'm not in my seat, I might be able to find one somewhere else.
Aye.
You could have found pretty much anywhere you wanted to sit where I was today. And I don't know how, I've not got anything to really judge that against, because I had a loaner ticket today. I would normally have been over in the famous Fibre over in the east and looking in the opposite direction, but it just 18,000 almost didn't make sense to me.
Okay. Andrew Brown said when the squad's not ready until the end of the window, we can't expect much more. To be honest, I'd like to see the juice machine in the West Upper fixed. Though, how hard can it be to provide cold drinks to buy? Like that's a fair gripe. Your first game of the season, and you can it's going to be a busy one. It's a fucking scorching hot day as well. Have your drinks machine working?
See, is it a bed day?
No. I think it's just like the behind the counter. They press the wee button and get the Coca-Cola and whatever. I don't know that we're going to spend much time talking about drinks machines, but I first day of the season, there's no excuse for that. Really, that should all be tested.
Every year.
When Midfield had it was last season as well. I mean, moaning about it. They got all the way up to
get water. You couldn't take your tablets, man.
Just wanted a water. Yep. Anyway, poor show. Chris said, where do you start? I'm a bit lost at the team selection. What it did show in the end is that Gray needs quality in midfielders. Defensively, I would try Rocky with O'Hora, or hope we can get Bevan in. And that depends if Foley is speaking to us at the moment. And why can't we play two up top? Do you think, John, today would have been a game for two up top?
Maybe. I mean, you're obviously dealing with hindsight here, and that's what I was going to suggest with regards to 3-5-2 as well, was if Ekpiteta isn't a football player, but he's kind of gets in the way of stuff, and he's tall enough to be heading things away, maybe you get someone that's a bit more mobile alongside him, similar to O'Hora. But also you have that benefit of like two up top. Like, why are we signing players and only playing one of them at a time, and then just kind of like we find ourselves in a situation today where Bowie was playing and then Fenty's also there. So I don't know. Like, I'm guessing the shape had changed at that point. I think I remember Joe Newell giving it some fingers, like maybe he was sticking them up at folk in the east. I've lost my train of thought. Players, formations,
two up top.
But yeah,
I
think you could maybe in that situation, if you take, for example, Miller out the equation, or even have him playing as the right centre half, you need two kind of overlapping fullbacks. You need two fullbacks who can get forward and get back. And I don't think Boyle's that player. I thought one of the things that I saw today was that Boyle's pace has definitely had a wee bit kind of taken off it. I actually unironically suggested to the boy sitting next to me that he started to fade a little bit potentially. Not thinking of the whole Starman song, I didn't mean it at that point. But he was, I think again, like freelance podcaster Dave Graham has suggested that the one thing that the main strength that Martin Boyle has is his pace. And now, like certainly on today's evidence, it looks like it's starting to go a bit. It's certainly against like Premier League teams. So do we need to look at alternative options on the right hand side for him? Because I don't think like he was effective up front today supporting whoever it was that was there. So yeah, maybe we need to look at something else there.
I don't disagree. On the formation stuff though, I was a wee bit unsure of. We're picking effectively the same team as last week. It changed one player obviously. Gray spoke about two players there because the striker as well, but Gray said that he would look at each game and treat each game differently, and yet we just played the same as we did against St Mirren. And I thought, well, is this not a day if we're going to give them 74% possession to actually like stack the defence in the middle of the park to not let them like make us hard to break down as well and hit them on the break rather than try and just play the same as we do every week, but with the same players and the same formation but doing something different.
I expected this to line up like we did against Pauk in pre-season. Like, I thought that was like the perfect sort of
well, we've done three at the back a few games and it's kind of dropped away now, and it was like folk were saying even Miller was looking decent at right centre half in that.
Anyway, according to this one, Cameron Marshall said Celtic are good, but we can't just watch them. Miller and Abita's laziness cost the first goal, and we had 4 players around O'Reilly when he passed to McGregor, who was unmarked for the second. Can we really wait a season for 15 of these guys to clear off? And Bowie looks decent.
We might have to wait a season for them to clear off, but I think we need to think about just doubling up the squad then. Like it's saying, right, well, if you're not going, I will pay your wages, but you know, you're training on pitch 2, we're on pitch 1, and like because you're never getting a game. Just like we've already done with Del Ferrier, Kenna, you know, and others that are down there training on their own most of the time. So, I think we're almost at that stage. If you're not going, then it is frustrating. A couple of folk ago said about the squad not ready till the end of the window, and it's like, why? Yeah, like you know, it's like we're going to be 4 games in, full of negativity, bottom of the league. You know what I mean? Second bottom of the league, depending on how shite Kilmarnock continue to be. But we knew when the season started. We got a manager in early so that we could get on the front foot. But we started getting on the front foot with 3 signings, and we just stopped. And now we're in a hurry. It's
a funny thing because we had this. Like the perception that the club reacted to the St Mirren defeat and the reaction to the St Mirren defeat towards them, and obviously you know common sense tells you that they didn't just go kind of the Monday morning after the Sunday defeat, fuck, who can we sign, and then rush out and do it. But at the same time you go, what slowed us down in getting Nicky Cadden in, right? Nicky Cadden's, we're not dealing with another club. He's looking to play his fucking twin brother is already at the club. Like that's as easy as signing as you should be able to make. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you think, why? What changed for him? No being signing a week, 2 weeks before the signing, just on the back of that St Mirren defeat.
But that's where the panic comes in, isn't it? Because you look at it and you go, right, we've offered you a deal. We spoke to you. I mean, somebody told us that back in May they would spoken to Nicky Cadden, right? So it was at the end of the end. So there'd maybe been a deal sitting on the table. He's gone, I'll wait and see because I might get a better offer elsewhere. And then we've got pumped last week and they went, fuck, what did you ask for again? There's the extra 500 a week or the extra sign-on fee or the extra house or whatever the fuck it is. We gave him extra that he wanted that we weren't going to give him, and we were going to sit out and wait to the end of the window till he didn't get another offer to then sign him on the deal we wanted. But the defeat last week's made them go, shit, fucking give what I wanted.
Aye, and the same with Hoylett. And I think the chat with Hoylett was done before the St Mirren game, just not announced till later. So there's that as well. Bowie had a club that was involved, so you can understand that taking a bit more time. But but there are players there that never had clubs that have taken us into August to get them over the line, and I think there's no
outside all that League Cup they couldn't even play in.
Yeah, there's no good reason for it, and if it's just been hanging out for, we're trying. You get to the club they want to spend more than they have to for players, but there is that if you're going to spend it anyway, don't bother with the dance. Just fucking go and agree the terms. That's it. It's better that we get them in. If you can, you're going to go. I will hold out, but if it comes to it, we'll pay it. Just fucking pay it at the start. Like, just don't be a dick. Just fucking. Don't bother with the flirting with each other. Just get the fucking deal done. Right, John, this one's for you. Neil Waters said, Rudy good in central positions. Bowie looked like a good bit of business. Experienced players letting us down badly. Second half are better, but still miles away from what we should be getting from the players available. What do you think of that?
Aye. I think I bumped into Craig before the game, and I was messaging him afterwards. I'll not tell you what he messaged me. Craig that's been on Longbangers before. But I think what I'd suggested was that, and I kind of alluded to it a few minutes ago, was that I don't think that Celtic's the game to be judging the team on.
It is.
Albeit, I'd caveat that with the criticisms that I had about like the ability. I think most of the teams in the Scottish Premiership are probably much of a muchness, and there's like little tweaks here and there that will make for a successful or unsuccessful season. It's just, that's all I've really got to say about it, to be honest. Like, I'm trying not to get too bogged down in some of the stuff that we're seeing. Like, I understand your point about like signings and what have you. But it's been part of the podcast. It's been part of being a Hibs supporter, like of the things that you see and they hear. Like, we're 2 games into the league season. Like, I even agree with the point about like the Hoylett and the Cadden signings, and I think I'd suggested last week that we are already firefighting because the league has already started.
Yes.
Yeah. The league has already started, and we're getting guys in on free transfers, and we might still be working up until I think it's the 30th of August when the window closes. But it feels like I think that period in the window might be for if you have like kind of like final tweaks and little adjustments. It shouldn't be that the window that you use the whole of that window and you're still working up until the 30th of August to change the squad. Aye. But I don't know. I don't know how that works, because I also accept the premise that like with some players, so like where you mentioned there about Kieran Bowie. God tell me, by the way, because I'm shitting myself that I've got his first name wrong. Is it Kieran Bowie?
It is Kieran, yeah.
Aye, it is Kieran. So Kieran Bowie, there's another club involved, and there's moving parts. Like Hibs are interested, maybe there's other clubs interested. There's agents. There's like various other things involved. So I can understand that taking a little bit more time, or not getting them in for like pre-season or whatever. It's kind of hard to, and I think because it's 2 games and because we've had a couple of shite results over 2 weeks, like I think that's kind of led to like the questions that were being asked. But there's still just a little bit more time that that like everyone. I think if anything has changed at the football club, like there's at least in certain areas of the football club, there seems to be a little bit more honesty with regards to like the state of play. Like there's still things that need to change. There's like David Gray alluded to it, we confirmed it. When he talked about like short-term pain, long-term gain, etc. I think there maybe just needs to be just a bit more patience to kind of let things come to fruition. Albeit, like I completely understand, it's been fucking jam tomorrow for like at least the last 5 years. And the only reason, like I mentioned, that whole 5 years thing is because that's when things changed with regards to the Gordons buying the football club and then other people coming in. Sorry, I realised that was a long-winded, rambling answer, but hopefully that covered a few points.
I can't remember what the question was, to be honest with you. Jake Gapper said, we'll look at time for another couple of races. We'll rattle through these, then we'll wrap up. Jake Gapper said, Miller not tracking back for the first. Horrific back passes to the goalkeeper from Josh Campbell and Marvin. A shocking free kick from Neil, who was mostly anonymous for the whole match. Boyle not slipping through Kukrevich and generally not passing when players are open. Kieran Bowie and Rudy Molotnikov looked okay. Celtic miles in front of us. Colin, we probably shouldn't forget that. Like you mentioned it at the start, like Celtic they look like they could do another unbeaten season. I mean, Celtic look terrific at the moment. No, that I'm particularly fussed for blowing smoke up their arse, but they look like a team that are banging form at the moment.
Aye, and that's why John's kind of tried to say as well. I think that can't really judge this team against them. You can't, because we're in the same league. But you know, like they're miles ahead. They're almost in a league of their own. Like I don't think Rangers will really get close to them either. So, but who do we judge yourself against? Like probably St Mirren, eh? And you know, there's a better judge there. So yeah, so aye, it's a hard one to judge because their players, everyone. I don't think there's any player in our team would start for them. I don't think unless I'm being harsh on Sunday, but I don't think we've got anybody there that started today that would start for them.
Nah. We'll go ahead of scales. We'll go there. Be kind.
Yeah.
Malk says, take what we can for the game. Never going to win realistically. Plenty of positives, Boyle. Not one of them, though. Gillian says, can't pass, can't defend, can't score. Midfield lost. On a slight positive note, second half was much better. And as you say, Bowie was unlucky. It's going to be a long season watching Hibs. And Christopher Black says the midfield was abysmal, better than the second half, but it's a bad day when your midfield can't make a 5-yard pass. The Zek Potato, an upgrade on Rocky. Only positive was O'Hara for me. So this came up, there's a bit of chat. Actually, we'll take this one into extra time tomorrow. There was a comment on Hibsnet. Somebody had said that we've addressed the deficiencies for last season. There's this bit about right. So we've got a bit of an idea of who these players are that have come in. Let's have a look tomorrow, John, when we do extra time, and sort of say are we in a better position this season than we were last season based on what we've seen of the players? And I think that's a fair question. Right? So is Ekpateta an upgrade on Rocky? Is an upgrade on Fish? Would probably be the comparison the right centre half. Then we're starting to look is Kukovic better than Malida, for example, and we've not replaced Condes. So these things are we in a better shape or a worse shape than we were finishing last season?
I really look forward to that conversation.
You know, it's not a loaded question. We might go there and we might get in and say, well, actually, we like to look at like O'Hara, could be an upgrade on them. You obviously he's looking better. The keeper might decide better. You know, it's an open question. We're not prejudiced with it. We'll go in and have a conversation and see what it takes us. The midfield. This chat about would the midfield get us relegated, right? So, unless we change something, right? So if we don't manage to sign a midfielder, this will a nice one to wrap up on. A yes or a no from you, John. If the midfield doesn't improve, are we in relegation trouble this season?
No, I think we've yet to see the best of Hibs this season, and the current midfield. I thought that's going to get me pelters. We're just trying to be positive.
I agree with you, John.
Opinion,
I don't think
you're allowed opinion. You're all right.
You mean pelters as well. I agree. I don't think it puts us in relegation because I think individually there's still enough in them to be better than some of the teams that we're going to be in the bottom six with if we carry on as we are. So I don't think we'll be in relegation trouble. I can see us being bottom six again if we don't change anything. But I think there's enough about the team and the hopefully the new strike force and all that to get enough goals to see it through. To not be relegated, I'm not getting into. Are people saying we're going to get relegated? Is that because we're
if we keep that midfield, there's heavily caveat. We're 2 games in it. You can't tell anything after 2 games, especially when one of them's against Celtic. I think you take it back a bit further. St Mirren is a benchmark for us. As unfortunate as they wouldn't want us to say that. Folk will be saying St Mirren should never be a benchmark for us, but fucking here we are. We saw what happened at Celtic. Did they get away? We can't pretend that result never happened, as much as it was an unfortunate one. It is what it is. It happened, and we saw last season what that midfield's capable of. And it was we almost run out of games. I think if the season had been longer, we might have got a bit more bother. So I'm going to say at the moment, no, I don't think we would get relegated either. But I wouldn't be betting my house against it. Put it that way. I think if we had a bit of wobble, it'd be easily. We've got a midfield that will turn that sort of bad form around. So Right, on that cheery note, I was quickly say hello to, I think it was Mark that introduced himself to me in Waverley Station, who's a truck driver and listens to us on a Monday morning as he's driving his truck out of Inverness. So hope you're having a nice, hope you're not having a thunderstorm and you're listening to this and we've cheered you up. And finally, when this goes out on Monday morning, everybody, it's Josh's 21st birthday as well. So happy birthday to Josh. Barry forgot to read out the announcement at half time at the stadium. Thanks, Barry. Right. That's us. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.